Please welcome Ms. Summer Yu, Group Chief Compliance Officer of Alpha Ladder Group, who will walk us through VisionX engine, including a guided demonstration of its key capabilities. Summer.
Thank you. Thanks, Pei-Ling, for giving a heads up of our VisionX 2.5, the capabilities, right? Okay, I think, just like Pei-Ling mentioned just now, right? So right now, we have the Web2 world and also the Web3 world, which these two words actually, they're very different, right? So for Web2 world, like the traditional PSPs, like the banks, right? So for KYC, KYB, we're already very mature. We have all the customer KYC data, like the DOB, nationality. We have everything to monitor when we onboard the clients, right? Then these, we also have quite a lot of direct counterparty exposures with the clients, right? But we call this is named because we know very clear who are the clients, right? And also the OPEC is, although we have a lot of information on the customer's bank account, but these are all the direct exposure. But on top of that, who are these bank accounts further transact with? This is something, as a traditional financial institutions, we're not able to, get it, right? So this is what we called for a Web2. Actually, this is named OPEC, right? But on the Web3 side, it is quite different, quite on the upside way. So for Web3, actually, all the transactions on-chain, for example, these wallets, who you transact, how much amount, what are the wallet address, what's the amount. Actually, these are all quite transparent. And also not only just the direct wallet you transact with, but also these indirect wallets. So 5 hops away, 100 hops away. This is endless, right? So, but this is quite transparent. Everybody, as long as you have the transaction ID or you have the wallet ID, you have the tools, you can view, you have the visibility. But the problem is who actually is behind the wallet? Do we know? We have no idea, right? We have no KYC information. Unless these are like the VASP wallets and these exchange, these companies who open the wallets for you, they do the KYC. Otherwise, we have no visibility, right? So this is quite opposite with the Web2 world. Web3, actually, this is very transparent, but at the same time, this is anonymous, right? But nowadays, because we're already at the Web 2.5 world, so our transactions, when the client do the transaction with us, it is seldom, it's a pure fiat. We do transaction, actually, we engage with crypto, we engage with fiat. So we are trying to actually connect the dots between Web 2 and Web 3. So how Web 3, these transparent, wallet information, on-chain information can help with the Web 2, the named these words to help with the further identify the potential events from a compliance perspective. I think, this is the primary, the motivation when we develop this Web 2.5 VisionX capability, right? And also, we actually, when we do these wallets, we understand, right now in the world, we have different kinds of wallet. We have hosted wallet. We also have unhosted wallets, right? So when we do the transaction for hosted wallet, specifically when they are from the VASP, we're able to identify who are the owners of these, hosted wallet, leverage the capability or leverage the implementation of travel rules, right? But for unhosted wallet, because travel rule doesn't apply, and also these vendors, right now, they cannot help with us on this. So unhosted wallet, when we transact with them, how we can minimize the potential risks and how we can try best efforts to identify who are behind and what are the purpose of the transaction behind. That's what we want to, leverage the VisionX capability to help with us. Okay, so this is, a high-level full view of our VisionX. So VisionX, actually, we work with a lot of vendors to help with us to build up the capability, right? I think, here we list all the KYT vendors we work with. I think, we probably are the only one. We work with so many KYT vendors at the same time, right? You see 6 names here, right? So these actually vendors help with us for the left side, which is a Web3. Every wallet transact with us will be subject to the KYT scanning. The backhand side, we have these 6 vendors available to support with us, right? And also for VASP wallets to transact with us, we also connect already with 2 travel rule vendors, they are the biggest one actually in the market, Benny and also SumSum, to help with us, to provide with us the travel rule information, right? And then, like I said, from end-to-end perspective, using a off-ramp as an example, the client gives us the crypto, the stable coins. We help with the conversion and we help with the payout, right? Then this side actually is more traditional Web2 side. So this side actually, we also have worked with LexisNexis actually to help with us, to monitor the transaction behaviors, right? So from end to end, actually, we use different database, we use different KYT2 vendors, and also we connect with the travel rule vendors to help with us to set up the whole capability. But the key point is the VisionX, we have the in-house algorithm to help with us to identify the potential suspicious activities. So this is VisionX actually in-house, what the structures we set up. So we set up the 3 layers because, we actually want to leverage these 3 layers to connect the dots between Web 2 and Web 3. Starting from the identity layer, right? When the client on board with us, as usual, we only know static KYC data. Like I mentioned, the DOB, nationality, your name, right? But when the client actually starts to transact with us, especially when they transact with us for on-ramp, off-ramp, they have quite a few, the wallet information, the risk level of these wallets, right? So these can contribute to the clients, actually the KYC, because we know what are the wallets the clients own, right? Then we add on to the usual KYC data. So then we make the static CRR when the client's on board with us to a dynamic customer risk rating by adding on these different risk levels from the wallets, from the transaction information. That's the first layer we set up. The second layer, behavior layer, is end-to-end transaction. So all the transaction monitoring rules will not only just focus on the fiat side, but we will focus on we will focus on the end-to-end transaction to include both the fiat side and also the crypto side, right? Then the last part actually is very interesting part because as usual, if we are working at a Web2 traditional world, we only have the direct exposure, right? Meaning, for example, my client asked me to pay out to an external third party or same name bank account. That's the direct exposure. Then those accounts, actually, the client pay the money to. These accounts outside of our ecosystem, whether these accounts are good or not, or whether these accounts, who they transact with others, right? We have no idea. But with this network layer, because we can link up the bank accounts the client own with the wallets the client own. We use the customer information as the bridge. Then we connect the 2 dots, the wallet from Web3 side and also the bank account from Web2 side. And because Web3 side, they can have more direct and indirect exposure. So this enables us to understand better about the clients, their counterparties, not only just the direct ones. Okay, I will come back to the Web3 part. So these are the vendors, the database actually we work with right now. So these databases actually are all the key players in the market, right? Every one of them has very different advantages. So these vendors actually help with us to achieve, a more holistic database, which they can cover more of the wallet address ID. They can cover more jurisdictions, and also they can cover different types of risk typologies. Maybe I also received the questions. I think Bo also received the same questions. What's your motivation to use so many vendors? Because it's very rare, right? And each of them actually, you need the budget, you need the cost, right? So why we want to engage with so many vendors? Okay, let me use this as an example. This is an incoming fund, meaning, this is the wallet, MetaComp, we give to the client, right? This is the white wallet. And these 3 wallets, actually, these are the wallets directly transact with the wallet we give to the client. So for us, using a traditional word, this is a direct exposure, right? And then, these wallets actually also has their network counterparties to transact with, right? So then we use different tools to scan the wallets, and we found very, very different results. For example, we use two A and D. We just use two vendors to scan the wallets, right? So it tells us, direct exposure, no alert. But indirectly, this wallet actually is transact with this wallet, but this wallet we flag as a scam. That's the two A and D tell us, right? Then we use a different tool, which is 2B. 2B didn't give us this alert, but 2B actually give us a very different result, meaning, for this yellow wallet, private wallet, 5 hops away, this one engaged with a high-risk organization, right? Then we also use a different pair, A and C, to scan the same wallet, right? Then A and C also gives us a very different result, meaning, 5 hops away with the blue wallet, we identify it is engaged with the coin mixer, which is a serious red flag, right? Then 2C itself, also very different result, huh? So it identified the darknet. So you can see, the different tools actually will give us very, very different results. That's the example for an incoming funds, right? Then we use an example for outgoing, meaning, our wallet, based on the request from the client, will help with the fund payout to an external private wallet. The same logic, we use 3 tools to scan. You see, these 3 tools actually also gives us very different results. The first one only highlight this is a scam, but there is no sanction alert. But the 2B already give us the alert that it is sanctioned. 2C is more specific, sanction OFAC related, right? So you see, these different wallets, different tools, actually, when we use them, we get a very, very different result. Then last year, we did a research. Actually, this research was based on, the 7,000 transactions we random select on-chain. With all these 7,000 transactions we studied, this is the result, right? So if you only use one tool to scan, the possibility that you will miss these red flags will be nearly 25%. And then if you use two tools, right? 2 tools, is the result change a lot? No. So it is still about like 22% you will miss the red flags, right? So only when you use 3 tools simultaneously, the possibility you will miss the result, miss the red flags will drop to 0.1%. It's a significant drop. And then if you want to play very safe, then the recommendation is use 4 tools. 4 tools, the chance you will miss these red flags will drop to nearly 0%. Right. So I think, this answer our question just now, right? So why and what's the motivation for us actually to integrate with so many vendors? On top of, they have more database to share, more jurisdictional coverage. This is the part from compliance perspective. We try to minimize these potential missing of the risks. And then from compliance perspective, maybe a lot of compliance officers will also ask, you integrate with multiple tools, multiple vendors. That's good. But these different tools, different vendors, they will have very different, the risk typologies. They also generate their own formality or own report, right? And then, from operation investigation perspective, does my team need to review the results from each of the two one by one? Then this is time consuming, right? This is not efficient. Okay, then, we also resolve this problem. So our in-house, solution help with us to standardize. Actually, we standardize the different risk typologies from different vendors, meaning, we use a unique and standardize the risk typologies to consolidate the different results from different vendors. That's the first one. And then the compliance operation team, you don't need to review the result one by one. We give you an aggregated result. For example, this wallet, right, we scan. So different vendors give different results. But when compliance team, you read the result, you will only need to read this report. So direct exposure, like the example I just showed, direct exposure 0, no risk. But from indirect exposure perspective, the aggregated result shows, this wallet, there is, about 16.72% this wallet engaged with the scam activities. This is the consolidated results from all different vendors at the backend side. So this is what we have also developed. This chart also gives you the high level view, right? So this is for the incoming transactions. Actually, we deliver the consolidated report, and then outgoing the same. We also give you the consolidated report. So from operation perspective or from compliance perspective, you just read this report and you get the full picture of this wallet situation. Okay, then the next question is, how we classify the risk levels from these, the vendors behind, right? Then we also develop an in-house algorithm. Actually, we already help with you to automatically classify the risk levels. To highlight here, so although at the backend side, we have 4 to 6 vendors we use simultaneously, all these wallet scanning, transaction scanning, it will be completed nearly real time. It's only 3 seconds we can complete, and you can get the results automatically, right? So when the incoming funds transaction come to us, actually, the backend side, these different KYT tools will work, right? And then they will generate the results. And then, for this direct exposure, if the risk typology or the alerts actually hint us this is sanction related or this is confirmed suspicious, confirmed money laundering cases, it will go directly to be rated as a severe risk. So for severe risk, so these transactions or these funds, actually, we will directly gel the funds to a specific wallet. So these funds will be segregated from other funds from the other clients because these are severe risk. So severe risk, our MLR will work on, preparing the regulatory reporting, like the SAR reporting. And these funds we will not, return to the clients. We will gel the funds until we get a response, from the regulators or law enforcement agency, right? That's the first one. That's the severe risk. And then the other part, also the direct exposure. There is possibility, there is high percentage or high possibility these wallets actually engage with high risk red flags. Then these high risk wallets, we will also gel in a high risk wallet. So these wallets actually, our operation team will do a manual review to confirm whether this is a true positive hit, right? So if it is a true hit, then we will not accept the funds to be deposited. We will return. Then these are actually for indirect exposure, meaning, this is the red flags flagged by our VisionX. This is not the wallet directly transact with us, but this is, indirect, like 5 hops away, 10 hops away. These are the transactions engaged, right? So medium high will also do a manual investigation. So you can see, this is actually, these 5 different risk levels we have already set up in the system and help with the compliance team to get a more fast and quick result and help with the investigation and decide whether there are, any money laundering potential or suspicious activities engaged. Okay, so then back to what I just explained on the identity layer for VisionX, right? So the biggest problem we want to resolve is how we can connect the dots between the Web2 and Web3 world. So when the client on board with us, all Web2 information, and then these ongoing KYC updates, they also give us the Web2 information, right? Then when the client start the transaction with us, for example, the transaction is from the crypto deposit. And this crypto deposit, the originator wallet actually is a VASP wallet, right? So we then can leverage the travel route information to decide or to understand whether these wallets owned by our clients. So when we confirm that, we will connect these wallets information to the customer KYC information, meaning, then by that time, KYC will no longer be a Web2 information. KYC, customer profile in our database, will be a Web2 plus Web3 information, right? And then, these, I will explain later how these two can contribute to this, the identity layer. I think, the last one, like Pei Ling said, our StableX network, actually, we connect the dots with a lot of, the network participants, right? So quite a lot of them, actually, if we confirm or we identify them as a trust and reliable participants, we will work with them to allow them to contribute the data for us. Meaning, when they have more Web3 information or Web2 information, they can also contribute to our database and link up with existing data we've already know. So these are actually the data source, how we set up this identity layer, right? And then initial stage, because we only have Web2 information, so this is what we call a static CRR. Then with all these data source contributed to this, the data layer, then we can gradually, leverage these information to achieve a dynamic risk rating, meaning, the risk rating will be a Web 2.5 version. That's how we manage the identity layer, meaning, gradually a client with us at the very beginning as a pure Web 2 client, then with all the transactions happen, with all the detection, with all the behavior network analysis, we will gradually convert the client to a Web 2.5 identity supported customer profile. Okay, behavior layer. So I use a very simple example to explain how we work on that. So this is actually a traditional fiat transaction, meaning, the client gives us a large deposit, which is 250,000 USD as a deposit. And then the client actually requests us to withdraw 50,000 USD at the same day. It looks like everything is just normal. As long as there is no name screening hit, whatever. For us, it's a regular transaction, right? But when we look at from Web 2.5 perspective, because, the client still gives us the 250,000 USD, right? Then the client requests us, hey, help me to do an on-ramp, convert 50,000 USD to a 50,000 USDT. And then help me to actually pay out or withdraw these 50,000 USDT outside. That's the daily request actually we receive from the clients, right? Then this behavior level, the transaction monitoring rules, because we've already applied to end-to-end transaction, right? So we then will monitor two parts. The first one is these wallets, the client requests to withdraw. What's the situation for this wallet? The first thing is we can identify whether this is a hosted wallet or unhosted wallet, right? That's the first one. The second one, even if it is a unhosted wallet, what's the risk level? So hypothetically, if the risk level of this wallet is high, if engaged with any other, the abnormal behaviors, right? So these transaction end-to-end monitoring rules will tell us, hey, your client, a large deposit, right? At the same day, the client requests you to do the on-ramp. At the same day, the client requests to, withdraw partial amount to a unhosted high-risk wallet. So this is the behavior or the pattern we can set up, leverage the VisionX capability. Then the network layer is more interesting, right? So this is still a Web 2 plus Web 3 transaction. The left side actually is still just like the example I showed up before, right? So this is the deposit, meaning, our client, the MetaComp wallet, will receive the cryptos from outside of, right? And then we help with the client to off-ramp and then pay out to the external bank accounts, right? So on the left side, these KYT tools actually help with us to identify the direct exposure and indirect exposure. With network link up, then we are able to identify with these, indirect exposure, these wallets indirectly linked up with your wallet. Is there any commonality or is there any shared wallet they are using together, right? So this case actually we found, right? So the yellow wallet actually is an indirect exposure with this ABC Aviation, this client, right? And then this blue wallet is linked up with another client, which is an individual, John Day, right? Then indirectly, they have, one wallet. This is 5 hops away. This is 2 hops away. This is a common shared wallet by these two clients. That's the first network information we have identified, right? So without these Web3 tools, actually, you will not be able to identify these indirect exposure, right? That's the first one. The second one, we look at our internal system. We found ABC Aviation and also John Doe, these two clients has transactions with each other. That's the second signal we also identify. Then we look at their, the fiat side. So ABC actually require us to do some of the payouts before, right? This is a third-party bank account. This is a same-name bank account. And then the John Doe also similar. Then same-name bank account, it's okay. Then third-party bank account, in our VisionX system, we actually can search for this bank account if there are any linked wallets behind, right? Then if we are able to find the linked wallets behind this bank account, then we can also check whether there is any commonality at this side. Then if we can identify the commonality from this side, we also find commonality here from this side. Then it's a good story we can use. The first one is, it looks these two accounts, no relation. These are two very independent, no relationship, accounts. But they have a common wallet which engage with scam. Like the report we just read, this wallet actually is nearly 17% engaged in scam. That's the first signal. The second signal, these two accounts actually transact with each other, right? Then the third one, which is more valuable, because without the Web 2.5 capabilities, at the traditional world, this is, never we can find indirect exposure, right? And then we also search for their external bank accounts, which do not belong to them. Then we also find a common wallet which they share, and this wallet is also scam related. So this can help with us to, a compliance team actually to further understand there is high possibility these two accounts has the high possibility to engage with the scam wallet, and they are doing the group activity. And then this is the upstream and this is the downstream, right? So this is how network analysis or network layer can help with us specifically to resolve this side, which previously it is not visible to us. And also for this side, actually, we can find the commonality. Okay, to summarize, right? So for VisionX, we're trying to achieve all this. First one is we are trying to set up these Web 2.5 intelligence. The customer information will never just be siloed, Web 2 and Web 3 independently. They will correlate and link up with each other. Then the second one is we use multiple source with multiple data vendor tools to help with us to identify the Web 3 parts, right? Then the dynamic risk engine actually can help with us to better manage, the client profile, client transaction in a more holistic way, right? And the last travel rule, actually, I can explain better, in the system demo just later how we can resolve this one. But this is overall how VisionX can help with us to connect the dots between Web 2 plus Web 3 and how it can help with the compliance team and also the companies who are doing these, Web 2.5 actions in a more capable way to manage your compliance and to manage your AML risks. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's do a demo, right? How the system actually can help with us. Okay, so this is the VisionX system we have developed. So you see, we have 6 modules in the system. And because today the time is very limited, so I will only, demo, for the behavior monitoring layer and also the network analysis layer. Okay, we still use this client as an example, right? So this client actually gives you some background. The client actually, when it on board with us, the initial static risk rating is low risk, right? And then the client, has different transactions in 2 months with us. It has like the deposit transaction. It also has withdrawal payout transaction, right? Then let's start with the latest one, which is a withdrawal transaction. Let's open this one. Okay, So this one actually you can see how this transaction hit the rules. The rule actually is high value deposit. It's just the example I showed just now, the 250,000 deposit with a 50,000 USDC actually withdraw, right? So it already hit the rules because, this is high value deposit withdraw to high risk wallet within 24 hours. That's the first one. The second one, we see, this is an unhosted wallet, right? And then the unhosted wallet actually is rated as high risk. So unhosted wallet, I think, for Web3 market players, when you do the compliance, especially for travel rules or when you identify these suspicious behaviors, it is really like a pain point because the travel rule doesn't apply to unhosted wallet. Travel rule only applies for these vast wallets, which they are willing to share with you these, the wallet owner information behind, right? Although we connect with Notabene, we connect with Thumbs Up, but this is not, they're not be able to cover everything, right? Then for unhosted wallet, right? So for each of the crypto withdrawal to a third party, our current compliance requirements, we would require the client to give us upfront supporting documents to validate the purpose of the transactions. That's our current requirement. Then let's see the supporting documents for this transaction, for this 50,000 USDC, right? So you see the client actually provides with an invoice. This invoice is to buy 20 quantity of the MacBook computer. And then the recipient, the beneficiary party actually is the company named techparadise.singapore, right? Then this helps with us to, set up the linkage. Although we cannot confirm that this unhosted wallet is directly owned by this company, but we still can set up the relationship that there is high possibility this company is now control this wallet because they ask you to send the funds to this wallet. So this is also the linkage we can build up in the system and help with us to better understand for these unhosted wallet, who are behind. Okay, close it. Yeah. So this is a withdrawal transaction, right? Then we go back, we see a deposit transaction. Let's use this one. This is, this one. This is the latest deposit transaction. Okay, deposit transaction, this is also very interesting. The first one is, it hits the rules. The first one is, it hits the threshold 200,000. Then the second one from a high-risk country, meaning, the originators actually, they from the potential from high-risk countries, right? Then we see for these, the rules actually, it covers fiat transaction, it covers crypto transaction. Both transactions are covered. That's the first one. The second one, when we see the crypto transaction, we see hosted wallet and also unhosted wallet, right? Then hosted wallet, because we want to understand, why we think this is the same name deposit, right? Then hosted wallet, we can check with the travel rule information. Let's open the travel rule information. Yeah, so the system actually can automatically show you the travel rule information we collect when the transaction happened, right? Okay, then close it. Yeah, and then for unhosted wallet, let's see, what the system can tell us. Let's open this. Okay, unhosted wallet, we also, unhosted wallet, because we don't have the travel rule information, but we can retrieve these KYT results for this wallet to see what exactly happened, right? So this is still the same client. Actually, you remember this near 17% scam activity engaged, right? Okay, then up to now, it still seems, I cannot confirm, or I might need more information to help with me to decide, or help with our compliance team to decide whether these are really suspicious transactions, right? Okay, let's close this. Then we scroll up to see how network analysis can help with this. Yeah, we search ABC Aviation, right? The system can automatically retrieve all linked wallets, bank accounts, belong to the clients, and counterparties of the clients, right? The first one is ABC Aviation for itself has the direct wallets he owns, and also indirect wallets connect with ABC. Also, we have the system record to record, all these bank accounts ABC Aviation previously transacted with, whatever this is a same name bank account or third-party name accounts. These are all ABC Aviation's information in the system. Then the second one, we scroll down. Okay, so this is a very interesting part, right? So the system also tells us, hey, ABC Aviation has something similar or has something, they have shared wallet, meaning, the system identify John Doe has an indirect wallet. It's exactly the same address, wallet address with the ABC Aviation. And this wallet actually is a high-risk wallet and scam related, right? Then this is, on the PPT just now, the left side, the red one, right? Then we also scroll down. The system also, right now already have the capability to also further search these bank accounts if there are any linked wallet with it. So the system also tell us, right? So maybe scroll up. Okay, so ABC Aviation has a bank account, has a third-party bank account. It previously requested to pay out. So this bank account actually doesn't belong to the client and is outside of our ecosystem. But this bank account, when we search internally in our database, scroll down, we found this bank account has the record in our system. And this bank account linked up with another wallet. This wallet is medium risk. It's also flagged as scams. And also interesting, this Kiana, this wallet also is commonly shared by John Doe. Right, so these are actually the network layer can help with us to detect, the first thing is the counterparty. The second one is direct and indirect exposure. The third one actually is also help with us to identify these commonality. Are they shared by similar or same users and relationship between them? So this can also help with us, back to the same cases, right? Back to the same alerts. So by right now, I think compliance is more confident and more clear to say. We close this one. Thank you. Yeah. Then this rule hit. So although here we only see, the transaction, the wallets, but with the support from the network layer, right? We are more clean to say, the client has the possibility to engage with scam activity, right? And then that's also will be the reason that we need to uplift the risk level. The client should not be a low-risk client anymore. So then, the client finally, after investigation, we mark as a high-risk client. We can also click here, to view the history, how these risk level gonna change, starting from the very beginning when they onboard, when they have attached, then when the client has the transactions, what's the history for the CRR to change? Okay, I think, this is part of our system capability, right? So then how the behavior level and also the network layer can help with us to, detect, to identify these potential suspicious activity, right? So I think, if you want to see more, maybe come to me after the session, I can share with you more. Thank you.